Welcome everybody. It's your boy Mo Crosby
Welcome.
from Lucas and Moe Versus The World. Yes, this is a very interesting episode. So I just want to welcome you all to this one. This is really good.
What to do, knuckleheads? On today's show, we discuss biggest movies of 2018. Marvel shows ranked. Are they really good shows? Streaming service, there's limitations. There's Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime, all of them. But first, we're going to start off with early Oscar race favorites. So, Mo, we're at the end of the year. We still have a few films we have not seen yet.
Best part of the
What
year.
would you predict are some of the favorites early on in this Oscar race?
Okay. I don't want to sound like a DC fan, but I think there are two comic book movies that could actually go in this year's Oscar race. Logan, obviously, because
Definitely.
Hugh Jackman crushed it. And it might not even be Hugh Jackman. It might be Patrick Stewart to get a best supporting actor, because he took Professor Xavier to another level from what we've seen him in. So I think it might be him, and maybe if they're feeling really nice, but I just feel like there's so many movies that are out this year. There's so many actors. Hugh Jackman might not get one. Wonder Woman. I mean, groundbreaking movie for DC. Like I said, I don't want to seem like a DC fan. The most critically acclaimed DC movie, and has nothing to do with He Who Must Not Be Named. It's the truth. Very good
100%
story.
true.
Very good story. So I could see where they could give it a I don't know about best picture, but maybe Patty could be up for a director award on this one.
I would say both.
Really?
Actually, best picture and director right now.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
think it could be a lock for best director right now, and I
Yes.
believe it may
Yes.
end up being a lock for best picture.
I don't see Gal being nominated for anything, but I don't think she cares as much. I think the people who do care are Warner Brothers and DC fans. Like they look, with what happened last year after Suicide Squad won, just expect that times 10 if anything from Wonder Woman gets nominated or wins. The Big Sick, I think that is one of the most underrated or not really appreciated movies from this year. I loved it. It was a very good message. I don't see a lot of awards going to it, but I see it could be a niche. What is it, like comedy? It could be in a comedy section. I do have issue with was it the Golden Globes that said Get Out is a comedy movie?
I kind of figured. To me, it is a comedy. Like Get Out is clearly a comedy. That it is. There's no. I know people think Get Out is a horror movie. Get Out is not a horror movie.
Yeah, it didn't have any real horror
It's
elements.
a thriller. It's a
Yes.
comedic thriller at that. So it makes sense that they would put it in that category because, in all honesty, it's going to lock nominations. And that if you play it against some of these other dramas, Get Out may not get those nominations.
So it could be in that niche. I don't see a director for it. I don't see a best director for it. I mean, it's really unfair to talk about Oscar predictions or even award season predictions when we have so many really good ones coming. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this week we're seeing two. All I'm saying is, look, man, there's so many movies coming, and it's just, I mean, Dunkirk, director, what's his name? Hans could win.
Hans could say you got to keep along with Dunkirk.
Yeah, my bad. Hans could win a sound. What do you call it? Music? Is it a soundtrack or music award for Dunkirk? Music. So Hans could win score. There we go. Hans could win a score for this one.
I don't know if he's gonna win that because it's so loud. Jesus, that score.
Don't
God
say that.
damn
Don't
it, man.
don't say Hans is loud because I
Hans
know
Zimmer,
someone.
man. And this nigga does not, he knows nothing about subtlety
Nope.
when it
Nope.
comes to his scores, Joe.
No. No.
And Dunkirk, the movie is quiet at times.
Yes.
And I don't know if he can win for the moments we don't hear music. He can't win for those moments.
Because when you do hear music, it is just in your face. It kind of almost takes you out the movie sometimes. But I could see director, definitely Christopher Nolan could get a director nod for this one.
Yes.
So I've said The Big Sick, Get Out, maybe Wonder Woman, Logan. Logan, I want to say Blade Runner could get a visual award because it is a beautifully shot movie. Huh?
Blade Runner's terrific. Blade Runner can pull in multiple awards, and it would not be surprising at all if Blade Runner got a Best Picture and Best Director and Best Supporting Actor.
Harrison Ford.
That would not be surprising to me at all, because again,
yes,
it's a movie that's way too damn long and it's overly slow, but
it is a good looking movie. Oh my god, it's I will say, if you are a Blade Runner fan, wait till it comes out maybe in 4K or 1080. You want to watch the best quality of it so you can see all of it. If you saw this in IMAX, then you would understand why I'm saying this. It is a good looking movie. Anyways, that's what I got. What do you got?
So clearly my take is about to go in a little deeper.
Right. Yeah, that's why I went surface, because I know Luke is about to go in.
I think I go a little deeper than most. So, Best Picture, I think right now Dunkirk may be a lock for Best Picture. I think The Big Sick is a lock for Best Picture.
Really?
I think Wonder Woman is a lock for Best Picture. 3 Billboards is up there for me also.
I didn't see that one. I wanted to see it. I didn't see it.
If you haven't seen 3 Billboards yet, this is a must-see film for anyone who has not seen it. It's another film out called Call Me By Your Name.
Oh,
Arnie Hammer.
Ladybug.
Lady Bird also came out this year. I don't consider Lady Bird in the category for me, but I can see other people that will. You got a couple of films that could be considered kind of dark horses. I think Blade Runner 2049 is one of them. Get Out is one of them. Logan is one of them, even though I believe, if anything, Logan is going to secure nomination for Patrick Stewart. Now he's the second strongest for Best Supporting Actor right now for me. Mm-hmm. Shucks. I'm trying to blink, but I'm not trying to. Oh, Mudbound is another one. Yeah. It's going to get at the minimum, it's going to get some acting nominations.
Now, quick question about Mudbound. Would that be sorry, sir. It won't be Netflix first foray into the award show. It's because Beast of No Nation did something last year. So this.
I believe Netflix has been nominated for that too.
Yeah,
it'll be their first. Even though Mudbound is weird because Mudbound could not get any nominations and it wouldn't surprise me.
Okay.
It's just one of those movies because it could get lost in a shuffle, and the reason why it's because a lot of these other films are about to release big, and it's on Netflix. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people aren't going to go to Netflix. Mother. I know people did not like this movie because a baby gets eaten in it, but I would not be at all surprised if it got a Best Director nomination and a Best Actress nomination. Jennifer Lawrence is like, man, my God, she kills this role. And the direction of it is amazing. So that wouldn't surprise me. Stronger. And then Detroit. Detroit is the true dark horse because it did not really make money in the box office, but Catherine Bigelow movies normally don't make money in the box office.
But she's normally like one of those.
She's one of the ones that gets past not making money, and her films get nominated. So I can see getting the Best Picture, Best Director, and man, it could get Best Supporting for either or Will Pointer. I said that boy's name right. I don't know. Again, people, I've said this before. I don't say people's
little white
names
boy, right?
Yeah, because as the racist cop in this film, My God, he's amazing. And it wouldn't shock me at all if he was to win the Best Supporting Actor nomination. It wouldn't surprise me.
Right.
But now I don't see too many people better than him. There's also Last Flag Flying, which I saw, which I think could get a couple of nominations.
That could sneak in.
Best Actor for Steve Carell.
Yes.
Bryan Cranston as Best Supporting Actor. I think that could really happen for these type of films. Other than that, it's a lot of stuff we haven't seen yet. Oh, The Merkowitz Stories.
Haven't seen
it. I know a lot of people have not seen it. This is a very small film, but this is a very small film that could end up getting Adam Sandler nominated for Best Actor.
About damn time.
And I know, like, people who say Adam Sandler and Best Actor, they look at you like you're stupid. But it's amazing in this fucking movie. Also, War of the Planet of the Apes. I believe Andy Serkis could end up getting the Best Actor nomination.
Which would be about goddamn time for him, because
I think he could. Oh, The Beguiled. Damn it. See, this is what I mean by
there's so many.
The Beguiled also.
And these are just the early predictions, though, because there's still a lot that hasn't come out. I mean,
and Colossal. God, that's awesome for Anne Hathaway for Best Actress.
All right, we gotta stop.
Again, we still got
stop you.
Dark Hour. We still got The Darkest Hour. We still got Shape of Water. We still got The Post, which The Post just won National Board Review Movie of the Year.
So that's already a lock. Meryl Streep. She's in already.
Yeah, Meryl Streep, Tom Hanks. Man, that could be the most prestigious film to ever come out. So that's going to be another level. I think the biggest shock is going to be to people is that I believe at this point, without saying too much, that's been released, it's going to release next month. Oh, I'm sorry, this month, that Wonder Woman is going to get Best Director and the Best Picture nomination. I think Best Director right now could be almost a lock for Wonder Woman.
Bruh.
Best Picture is a little iffy, but they could get nominated for it. So I believe a spot is going to be there for Wonder Woman.
Let me start some trouble on this podcast. This is the first episode. I mean, this is the first topic of this episode. Let me start some trouble. If Wonder Woman wins anything, doesn't matter. She could win Best Shoe Award.
Wonder Woman won Best Picture. To me, Wonder Woman wins the point that it gets nominated for Best Picture. If it was ever fucking win Best Picture, fuck anybody who has anything to say about the DCEU. If it gets nominated for Best Picture, no matter what you think about Justice League, it's not gonna matter. It's not gonna matter at all. Because Wonder Woman coming out the same year, if it caps off the year with a Best Picture and Best Director nomination,
bruh,
nothing else matters.
Nothing else.
I don't give a fuck how much money Thor makes.
The MCU
Tell us how much money Guardians of the Galaxy made. I don't give a fuck how much money Spider-Man Homecoming made. None of that's gonna matter, dude, because Wonder Woman got nominated for Best
I'll say Picture. This: Infinity War next year might not even matter, because again, the DCU has 2 movies now. If Wonder Woman gets a nomination, you're right. This year doesn't matter. If she wins, the DCU has 2 movies, 2 award-winning movies. End of story.
Talk about Suicide Squad, aren't you?
Look. Do you no? Were you online when they announced Suicide Squad won an award?
Well, I watched the Oscars live. I was highly upset that Suicide Squad won because it had no fucking business winning. I'm highly confused that Suicide Squad won, but I remember the
outrage,
the community, and I already told you when I say community, what I mean.
Yes.
The community reaction to it was like with no pride. Like, y'all tried to shit on the point that Suicide Squad won Best Makeup. Like, fuck you all, dude. It's a movie. It's in y'all community, and it won. But you know what? They're going to feel the same way, and they're going to act the same way.
Oh, yeah.
If Wonder Woman gets those 2 nominations,
dude,
I don't give a fuck what you attempt to say, because what the trump card will be, movies don't make that much money.
But
name me the Marvel movie that got nominated for Best Picture.
And that is the end of any conversation right there.
You just can't name it. You can't name it.
You can't.
Name me the Marvel director that got nominated for Best Director.
Zero.
Can't name it.
And that is the end of
Can't name it
any
at all.
conversation right there. And anyways, but yeah, let's not start a war down in the comment section now. Let's just jump into the next topic. He said you're talking about Suicide Squad, aren't you? The next topic I'll decide to talk about right now is the Marvel shows. We're gonna rank them, and then we're gonna ask, and then the next thing we're gonna talk about is, are they really good? So it's been, are we only doing the ones on the streaming service, or are we gonna do the one, the other ones that kind of are out there?
Now, here's the caveat: we can do all Marvel shows not related to Fox.
Oh, come on! All right, you got it.
Because I am not going to count Legion or to count The Gifted, because if I was to rank Marvel movies, I would not count those movies because those series are made by Fox. The same people who make the movies make those series. We'll talk about the Marvel Brain Trust and their
so let's talk about the
shows.
MCU shows. So yeah, we're gonna talk the Netflix ones. We're gonna talk. I mean, it's just really Netflix and ABC at this point, right? And Hulu just started with theirs this year, but that's very young. But yeah, so go ahead with. I'm sorry.
With my ranking, yeah. I can go my ranking, Mo. I'm pretty good at this. Okay. Okay, people. I don't want nobody get mad at me.
They are.
I'm gonna rank last to first because that's the way I like to do it. Shit. So. I'm gonna start off the list with Inhumans. That's last place.
Okay.
I'm gonna follow Inhumans with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I'm gonna follow Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. with Iron Fist. I'm gonna follow Iron Fist with Agent Carter.
Okay.
Then we're going to go to Luke Cage. Keep in mind, I have yet to get to a show that I think is good. I just want everybody to know that.
Okay.
Go to Luke Cage. Then I'm going to go to The Punisher. Then I'm going to go to The Defenders. Then I'm going to go to Daredevil. And then Jessica Jones.
All right. All right, that's fair. That's fair. So I'm going to guess that Daredevil Season 1 and Season 2 are still subpar to Jessica Jones.
I had to combine them together because if I separate the two, Daredevil Season 2 would be at the bottom of the list. Daredevil Season 1 would be up there right behind Jessica Jones. Right, Daredevil Season 2 is unwatchable.
All right. Well, my list goes. I mean, Inhumans, obviously. Even I kind of watched it. I kind of.
Hey, that's why Inhumans was a little like.
Yeah, I kind of watched it with an open mind. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I think the last three for you are the same for me. Iron Fist. Agent Carter is right after Iron Fist. We're going worst to last. Worst to best. The Defenders for me. Luke Cage. No, The Punisher. Then Luke Cage. I think that's pretty much it at this point because we're going to talk about Jessica Jones and Daredevil. Those are toss-ups for me because it's a thing where do I want to separate Daredevil Season 1 from Season 2? But I'll keep it. You know what? Because Jessica Jones for me was just really great and David Tennant was just awesome in it. So I'm just going to keep it there as number 1. Then I'm going to combine Daredevil Season 1 and 2. And
Jessica Jones is the only time Marvel has gotten a television show right.
Oh my God, it was beautiful to watch. It was beautiful.
No other show is right. I know some of you people in the community. One of you,
they're gonna hate you.
Community.
They're gonna hate you.
You know what? You're not supposed to use another word, Mo. I know some of you fucks out there want to act like The Punisher is a good television show.
Not.
There's nothing good about stretching a story that should be 4 to 6 episodes or 13 fucking episodes. And all of you fucks who think that's what people with PTSD actually act like is what you saw in that Punisher series. I hate to inform you. No, the fuck, that's not how they act.
Right.
The series was so bad. So fucking bad. And it took me 3 weeks to watch it. And I only buckled down to watch it after I put this topic on this show. Yes. And I said, well, I have to watch The Punisher for me to actually judge The Punisher. Man, to say I wanted the show to be background noise would be an understatement.
It was background noise for
Be
me in some
background noise.
episodes.
You know how hard it is to make a show background noise? If you want it to be background noise, it's so bad. From the acting to the directing, like it is so bad. And yet, because they kill a lot of people or whatever, you little fucks out there talking about how good this show is. It is not good. It's not good.
You know what?
And that's,
In a way,
again, the second part of the question, Mo, was do Marvel make good shows? It is a very simple answer here. No, you don't. You do not make good television shows.
they made,
And I think the issue is they don't necessarily make good movies, but it's only for 2 hours that you got to see that movie.
right.
If you extend this shit for 13 episodes, dude, every flaw comes out. Like, if Marvel wants to make good television shows, they better shrink these shows down to 6 episodes.
That's what I was gonna say next. You're right. If these shows, if they want people to like remember these shows, if they want rewatch value, I think you want to drop the number of episodes from maybe 13 to do Defenders numbers. If you don't want to go 6 episodes like Lucas is saying, do 8. Because what makes people think the Defenders was a good show is because it was 8 episodes and you didn't have to tell, and you didn't have to have unnecessary fillers in every episode. Because Frank Castle had fillers in his episode in his show. Like, you're watching, and you know what pisses me off about the Punisher show, that a lot of people are still like talking about it as, oh, this might be one of the better or the best Netflix shows, is they threw that gun restriction, that whole gun thing into the show, and they threw the whole police brutality in there just to make people see, oh, we still care about, we care about gun control and we, police brutality. And then they threw some other whack conservative storyline in there, with the guy, like, that whole conservative.
It's the fake care, Mo.
Dead ass.
It's fake care.
To make
fake care.
Exactly. To make everyone to have something for everyone. The PTSD, again, I have the biggest problem with it because I know, because I volunteered in high school with soldiers, with vets, and I know firsthand what PTSD looks like, what it sounds like. That was a very, very glossy version of it. That was Hollywood version of it. Because it's look, we're not supposed to try to review any shows on here, but I was just giving you my little 2 cents on the Punisher and why I think it's not good. Daredevil season 2 to me is also not good because it for me was an audition for the Punisher. Instead of centralizing it again on the Daredevil and what he had to face, you had to then you were bringing in all these characters, which again I understand. Daredevil season 2 felt like more of it almost felt like BVS to me, where it's like, oh, you're trying to expand the universe with with this show. But again, the main character was missing from it. Daredevil was like a very sub. He was the secondary, or the third story on his show. I mean, look, Daredevil season 1, Jessica Jones season 1, the best things Marvel has done on TV. You see how we've noticed. You know what I've noticed is we kind of spent more time talking about Netflix. We've not really talked about the ABC shit.
It is shit. That's why.
Let's talk about how Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Oh shit! Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is the shittiest show humanly possible. The only reason Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is still on the air because Disney will not allow ABC to drop the show. That's it.
True.
If it didn't, that show would be canceled. But from the ratings, and for you fuckheads who try to point out, well, the ratings aren't that bad. Yes, they are bad. Because when you bring in like 7 ratings to justify your ratings, it's bad because you don't get advertisers to pay for +7 or +3 ratings. They do not pay for that shit. They pay for live day ratings. Fucking shows, you can tell it's bad the way they move it around. It's in the death slot right now, people. For people that don't know anything about television, the shows get moved to Fridays. Fridays is considered the death slot because no one stays home to watch these types of shows on Fridays. So when you get moved to a Friday, you're in the death slot. And either they put you there until they could not have to show you no more, or they put you there right before they cancel you. And that's where Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is.
Right. And
then you had Inhumans, which was unlike just unexplainably bad.
You know what's funny is people will say Agents of Shield is a good show and turn around and say Gotham is a bad show, but Gotham is on a Thursday night. Gotham
Hey,
before it got
God,
moved to Thursday night was on a Monday night. Lucifer is
Anchor
on
on a
a
Monday night.
Lucifer is Monday at 8. Monday at 8 or Monday at 9. So
Hey,
8, yes, because the show that you said you're not going to talk about comes on at 9. But it's so funny if you talk about Lucifer and Gotham, but then turn around and say those are bad shows and try to compare. How again? Fox is giving you these shows on prime time, both at prime time hours. Like, granted, it's on a
if
Thursday
you ever
night,
want to ask yourself
but you're
about
home on
Gotham,
Thursday
it's a
night.
very simple. It's a very simple thing. Thursday is the biggest night of television.
Boom.
For everybody who don't know out there, Thursday is the night that you get the most advertisers for television. Fox moved Gotham to Thursday because it was their biggest show. And that tells you all you need to know when you attempt to compare Gotham and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. There is no comparison between them.
Like,
Gotham's the
why do you
better
think
show.
Arrow got moved to Thursdays again?
Yeah.
Lucas's
I moved
point
Thursdays because it was a hit show and they needed a show on
on
Thursday.
Thursdays.
And they took their hit show from Mondays to Thursdays.
It's
In turn, ABC took their shit show from Tuesdays
to
and
Friday.
moved it to Fridays.
Like,
At what, 10 o'clock on Fridays?
yeah, that's really the death slot because you're
Yeah,
usually
they don't
out.
care. They
You're
don't care
usually
about
out at that
Agents of
time.
S.H.I.E.L.D.
And one more thing before we move topics is, again, people will compare, Marvel Netflix to the CW. But how is it that CW shows are running on what 4 every Supergirl
Well,
is
there's
the
no-
weak,
there's-
Supergirl's
there's-
the weakest
there's-
one.
I don't even think Supergirl's the weakest one anymore. But that's neither here nor there. We're not gonna
You know what?
breath way off in that. But all I'll say is that the DC
you just can't compare.
television universe is comparable to the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
You know what?
So
You know what?
the DC television shows dominate. They're not even close. Those Marvel shows aren't even close to the DC television shows. You can't even compare them at all.
You're
There's
right.
no
You're
necessary comparison because you can't compare them.
You're right.
DC is that far ahead of Marvel
You're
on the
right.
television front,
Yeah.
as far as people perceive Marvel to be on the movie front until Wonder Woman gets his Best Picture nomination. And that's it.
You just really want to start a fire. Like, it's all right with this Wonder Woman thing. Yo, I wish let's do a show. Let's do an Oscar show like the next day. We should do an Oscar like walk back. Like, yo, can you
If we do
believe?
one, we're going to change the intro music. And that fucking intro music is going to. Matter of fact, the day after the Oscar nominations come out, if Wonder Woman gets nominated, which I think it will, we're going to change the intro music to the Wonder Woman theme.
All right, I got you. I got you. So what's next?
So, again, I think this is a good branch off point for us because we just talked about Netflix and the Marvel shows.
Yeah.
So, talking to streaming services and their limitations. And I know people out there wondering, hey, Lucas, what do you mean by streaming show limitations? Well, on these streaming services, everybody knows everything has to be binged because you refuse to release it in a traditional format. You may have CBS All Access does it, even HBO Go does it, but the big streaming services that we all know, the Amazons, the Netflix, the Hulus, they all give you stuff in bulk.
Actually,
So
Hulu changed their format when we get into it.
But Hulu still gives you in bulk, but they give you sections of bulk.
Yes.
Because actually, and they changed their format closer to Amazon. Because Amazon's always giving you shows in sections of bulk. They'll give you everything at once. But to me, it's still the same thing. These shows have to be binged. What I mean by limitations is these shows don't stay around as long as traditional shows do. So as a streaming service, how could you possibly fix this problem without going to the traditional format?
Shit.
What do you think, Mo?
I like what Hulu's done. I like what Amazon has done. I'll say maybe Hulu because the Tick is on Hulu, right? Or Amazon? No, the Tick is on Amazon.
The Tick is on Amazon.
Yes.
The Tick is on Amazon.
I like what they did, where they dropped the first 6 episodes and then because when we talked to when we met the creatives at Comic-Con, it was supposed to be 6 episodes and then 6 weeks, but it ended up being, you know, however long, like 6 months, closer to 6 months. So I like that whole, like, okay, let's wait for, like, don't give me all of it at once, because I want to feel like I don't have to watch it all at the same time. You know, if you're gonna go, the whole water cooler thing, the whole thing about the water cooler talk is like everyone kind of watches, everyone is kind of caught up at the same time, and you can talk about it at the same time. Yep. Like the whole thing with, Game of Thrones. I think what makes HBO and Game of Thrones so great is the fact that it's a good show that you get to catch week to week. But with
that's been the case that's been the case all along for HBO.
Yes, with these Marvel, say Netflix and like some of the Amazon stuff, some of the Hulu stuff, like The Path, and just some of those, like it's just like, if you didn't catch all of it that weekend, if you have to go to work, or you just have to like shut off your life because it's like, oh, I didn't catch all of it, so I don't want to talk about it. There's no breathing room, is what I'm trying to say. There's no breathing space. There's no breathing space. Like, these shows don't offer any breathing space. So what Hulu has done, but Hulu actually with their new Marvel show, it's actually going to be week to week. CBS All Access gives you week to week, which to me at first when I heard about it, I was like, is this going to work?
It's the same format that you're talking about. It's the same one that Hulu has been following.
Yes. But they give you like maybe 3 episodes first, and then when they kind of hook you to it, then they go week to week. I will say this though, with CBS, I was very, very scared with Star Trek. I was very, very scared. But if you trust your product, you can do what CBS is doing. If you trust your product, you can do what Hulu has done. If you trust your product, you can do what Amazon has done. I think it's a matter of trust too. If you're putting out anything, just any basic ass show, if you let people binge it, they tend to forget about it really quick, just as fast as it comes, as fast as it goes. You need to let people breathe, and you need to let people breathe through the shows. If it's a good show, people will come back to watch it. You feel me? I think it's the fact that we don't have, most of the binge content aren't really good. It's just, let's just package it together and throw it out. First episode is good, last episode is good, everything in between is just, like whatever. You don't really get the meat and like it's just something where if you binge through it, oh my god, it was really good. But then when you sit down and think about it, it's like, was it really that good? That's what I think. Like, I think they need to have caps on it. Like, okay, so 5 episodes cap. Wait a couple weeks, 5 more. Go for it. But again, it's a matter of, do we trust our product enough that if we did that, will people come back to see it? I think for the most part is no. And so they just put everything out there at one time. And that's what I think about it. That's how I think. That's what I think about it. What do you think?
So then the question would be, Mo, because the format that you're talking about is the format that Hulu has, I think, always done. I paid way more attention to Hulu when The Handmaid's Tale came out.
Yes.
And they dropped the first 3 episodes, and then they gave you it week to week after that.
Yes.
So
they kind of
they're doing with the Runaways. I believe this may be Hulu's format. Is always to hook you first.
Yes.
And then give you the rest of the episodes. So it almost sounds like you're saying Hulu's way of doing it is a lot better than Netflix, which gives you everything at one time. Because, again, when I say limitations to streaming services, that's why we supposedly hit shows on Netflix go away so fast. Again, we're like a month and a half past the premiere of Stranger Things 2, which supposedly was the biggest show ever for a weekend. And then it went away. But Punisher was not big, but it was a decent sized show, and then it went away.
I mean, you got Godless that came after that took the Punisher spot.
Yeah, exactly. Like, this is the trajectory of Netflix shows. So it may be time for them to look at the format. I know they've discussed it before. I know there have been rumors about it, about them thinking that they may want to go away from the all streaming format to try to do more of what the other streaming services are doing. But the fear was people buy Netflix because they could get everything at one time. But to me, it's great to binge certain shows, but then you don't get the nuances of shows. Like a show like Glow, which I love. I binged it in like a
A
5 hour sitting.
Right.
And all honestly, I can't tell you shit about that show now because I didn't live with the episode. Again, as you say, it's the water cooler talk.
Yeah.
Like you can. It used to be awesome. HBO has perfected this because of Sopranos or Sex in the City or like Deadwood or Boardwalk Empire. Any of their shows where it was week to week, and you would just go in to work and talk about them. You don't do that with Netflix. If you talk about it, you got to talk about the whole series. Because 9 out of 10, you watched everything. And unfortunately, people you want to talk to aren't at the same point that you are at. And I think that's the issue with streaming services. Until they decide how they're going to do this streaming thing, I think Hulu has the best way of doing it right now.
Man.
But hey, I think you made the best point possible, Mo. If you trust your content, you can do it that way. If you don't, you could never do it this way.
Never. I think I want to be done with this topic too. So unless you have something you want to add to it, Lucas.
I do not have anything I want to add to
it. All right, so that's that for that. So the last topic of the day, the biggest movies of 2018. We're going to predict and we're going to drop our top 5. Lucas, the biggest movies of 2018. What do you think they are? Now, hold on. Are we talking about the biggest, like, impactful movies? Or are we going to talk about the biggest and also kind of pull in? Because we started the show with the Oscars.
Box office.
Oh, so box office. All right,
box office.
Okay.
When I say biggest movies, it will be the box office because that really names the biggest movies of that year.
Okay.
Normally. So, number 1, I'm gonna say is Jurassic World 2.
Wow.
I mean, once you follow a film that is the 4th biggest film of all time, and you bring back the cast and you add Jeff Goldblum and bring back his original character from the Jurassic Park series, dude, this film is going to do numbers that are stupid. And to me, at this point, for the same people who doubted the first Jurassic World before it made $1.6 billion, are the same ones who are doubting this one. Come on, get your shit together at this point. It's not even a question to me that Jurassic World will be the biggest film of next year. Number 2, I'm at a toss-up, but I will give it right now to Infinity Wars.
Okay.
I mean, it's a lot of hype with this film.
And I do understand your argument for why it may not be the biggest or may not make the numbers. I think
well, again, once you track it, it's kind of obvious why Jurassic World will be over this. The same reason that, Jurassic World has outgrossed every Avengers film.
Okay.
So let's just put that in perspective. Jurassic World has outgrossed the first Avengers and Age of Ultron. For anyone who thinks that Infinity Wars is going to make more for Jurassic World 2. They appeal to kind of different audiences, and I know people think they appeal to the same audience. They do not appeal to the same audience. So that's why Jurassic World will beat it. Number 3, could be Deadpool 2. Because Deadpool 2 could actually climb to number 2. But I'm putting it at number 3.
Okay.
And the reason why is because if they, again, don't secure a China release date, it's going to hamper this box office. Like, the first one made $775 million without releasing in China. By next year, it will be very close to the biggest market in the world when it comes to films.
Right.
So the point that it's going to exclude itself from that market, where movies like Jurassic World or like Infinity Wars will both do well over $200 million in China. So Deadpool may hamper itself by not being able to release there. So that's why I would put that at number 3. Number 4, again, this is one of those weird ones because Han Solo movie. Again, a lot depends on if Deadpool releases in China.
Okay.
Because if not, then Han Solo will flip in front of Deadpool. Because again, this will release in China. So Han Solo is the number 4 film for me, and number 5. I was looking on the release date, Mo. I couldn't find it. I'm not 100% sure now if the Minions releases next year or the
Oh,
following year.
hmm.
So
It
if
might
the
be
Minions release next
2019.
year, then it might be 2019 that the Minions release. So, man, I would probably have to give it to Incredibles 2. I can see that doing decent numbers.
Okay.
Where it comes in at number 2, granted, it's again, it's it's some other films that could come in and surprise you. I
Hmm.
think Venom could. I think
Aquaman.
Aquaman definitely could come in and surprise you. I think Dark Phoenix could come in and surprise people.
Hmm.
The new The Grinch that Stole Christmas. That's supposed. Oh my God, my bad, Mo. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I left out a movie, and I left out a movie stupidly. So,
Number 5.
but I'm just gonna add in Fantastic Beasts Part 2.
Yes.
I think
When
that film's
when
a
you made your
guaranteed
list,
$1 billion.
when you made your list and you didn't talk Fantastic Beasts, I was like, okay, Lucas, something's wrong with you. Like, you
Yeah,
said all
I
these
forgot about
movies.
Fantastic. I forgot. This is what happens when you have way too much knowledge of things that's coming out.
Yeah.
Because also another dark horse is Mary Poppins Returns. That
Shit.
could be a huge dark
Huge.
horse that's going to come out,
Yeah.
and it's coming out during the Christmas season.
Oh yeah.
Like that could be huge. But Fantastic Beasts is definitely $1 billion film, so that may be up there. I think, matter of fact, that would knock Incredibles 2 out of the picture.
I.
So I got Jurassic World,
Uh huh.
uh, Infinity Wars. I'm going to now say Fantastic Beasts,
Thank you.
Solo, and Deadpool 2, based only off the point that I don't think they're going to get a China release. If they get a China release, Deadpool 2 can move to number 3 to possibly number 2.
All right. So you flip the first two for me, Infinity War and Jurassic World. I think it's Infinity War and Jurassic World, and I think it's Jurassic World because it's going to be number 2 because it's a thing where Jurassic World, the first one had, very, very, like, after it come out, after it made its money, people were like, maybe this movie was not as good as, but you know what? Like you said, Jeff Goldblum is coming back, so that could be, and that could be a plus. I think because if we go back to Thor Ragnarok, I think Jeff Goldblum in Thor Ragnarok was something where people were like, "Oh my god!" Like, I think that's something that kind of pushed that movie over the top in one way because Jeff Goldblum is just so cool. But I think if I don't know, just depending for now, I don't know. I haven't seen the tracking, but I'm going to say Infinity War and I'm going to say Jurassic World 2. Then we move past Jurassic World 2. The next one for me is Fantastic Beasts. I don't know how you left that off your list for anything else. Like, look,
Because it plays. Fantastic Beasts is a very weird series. I can see it stopping at 800, and I can see it going to 1 billion.
it's a
It's not like Jurassic
it's
World,
still a
where I
Harry
think
Potter movie though.
yeah, but the first one was a Harry Potter movie. But if you look at it, Fantastic Beasts is hurt that it doesn't pull in the money domestically. That's the
Okay.
best way to put it.
Okay. You're right.
That's that. It'll be hurt domestically the same way that Infinity Wars is going to be hurt domestically.
Hmm. So you think domestically people are starting to get tired of these movies?
I mean, domestically, Civil War is the best reviewed one, and it made less than Wonder Woman did. To put it in
Also,
perspective about what these films make domestically, and domestically, Jurassic World made close to $600 million.
true.
So you're looking at a film that's geared. I think that's what people leave out about some movies. Again, once you pay attention to the tracking of how these movies are tracking, where these movies are making money at, like that tells you everything you need to know. Jurassic World was a bigger hit in China than most Marvel movies are,
Yes. Jurassic World.
and Chinese
Yeah. Chinese always love monster movies.
audiences.
Like I think the whole reason we're getting a
Studios is worldwide. For everybody who forgets, because I know I brought that up for the first Jurassic World years ago when it came out. I had to point out to somebody, Universal Studios is worldwide. Universal Studios' biggest attraction, Jurassic Park. Like, there's no way you're gonna beat something that already has a built-in attraction to it. That size. Jurassic Park has been in people's radar since '93. To put it in perspective. So people who don't normally go see movies, go see Jurassic Park movies.
Right. Anyway, so we have Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, the sequel. This is where things start to get a little tricky for me because I want to have Deadpool 2 in there, but I don't see Incredible 2 on my list. I don't see The Incredibles on my list. I see Deadpool, and I see it's very, 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 very tricky. But I mean, if Deadpool is there, then you know what? If I put Deadpool 3, I could put Incredibles. Deadpool 4, I could put Incredibles 5, because again, Incredibles might have the thing where it's like it's coming off. You know, it's like it has the nostalgia, but then you said Mary Poppins comes back. Like Mary Poppins comes back, man. This might be the year.
And if you want built-in nostalgia.
Yes, there is no more built-in nostalgia than Mary Poppins, and if you're you know, this might be the year that Star Wars isn't a top 5 gross, that a Star Wars movie isn't a top 5 grossing movie, and I think this is one where I think they let too much of the news escape, because again, you had Rogue One where not a lot of the news escaped, but the news did escape. You had you had the original, the first 3 episodes, episode 1, 2, and 3, and they still did the numbers they did. But it's just, this is one where I feel like with everything that has happened, with all the news, and we might not get a quality Star Wars movie. It might open really good, but will it leg it? Like, will it, what would happen after opening weekend? I think this is the first Star Wars movie that actually might be getting close to being reviewed as maybe the first 3 Star Wars movies. And when I say first 3, I'm talking about episodes 1, 2, and 3. So that's
that'll never happen. That'll never happen. That'll never happen.
But I don't see this one being as big as Rogue One or The Force Awakens or what's coming out this year in The Last Jedi. I think this is the year that Star Wars, again, maybe because Han Solo might, I think this is a movie that's bitten off more than it can chew. How much do we care about Han Solo? We'll find out when this movie comes out. That's why I fall on this one.
Ah, that's odd. Yep.
No, let's think about it, because Han Solo is a great character in the ensemble.
Han Solo is the. Here's the weird part. He's actually the second most popular character in Star Wars.
But hold on, in the ensemble, do you really care to know his full story?
Yes.
All right, we'll see. Next
year. I don't know anything about Star Wars, but I do know if you add him and Lando Calrissian and technically Chewie, is it at that point? Is it a Han Solo story?
No,
because actually you've added other people that are in the universe into the story.
Hold on. So what have you done? What I said was Han Solo is a very interesting character in the ensemble. So what do? You make an ensemble movie with Han Solo, Chewie. Like it's look, it's great. It's gonna be a fun movie, but is it going to be the hit that we're? I don't know. For my top 5,
I think it'll be bigger than Rogue One. If I had to guess, wow. I would say it's going to be bigger than Rogue One. Because Rogue One wasn't received well. In all honesty, if you go back to the numbers and the way it played after it came out, it was not received well.
It opened really well, though.
Yeah, I mean, 150, but I think Hans will do about the same.
Awakens numbers, but it opened really well. I think Han Solo opens 138.
So if it opens 138 in the summer, it's going to coast to $1 billion. That's way too big for that film.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's right. Because
I would have said it opened up at 90
I was thinking Han Solo comes out around, this time. No, it doesn't. It actually comes out early in the year. So you're right. 95.
It comes out in the summer.
95.
It comes out in the summer.
It's funny because
Matter of fact, it comes out Memorial Day weekend. So for anybody who knows, when films come out Memorial Day weekend, what it does over the 3 days does not matter. It's what it does over the 5 days.
5 days, yeah.
So if it's 3 day number is like 90, but its 5 day number is like 140, dude, it's a bigger hit than Rogue One at that point.
Okay.
And it's going to coast to being a bigger hit because in the summer you get more multiplayers than you do at the time that Rogue One released.
Okay.
It's very weird because Rogue One had to compete with too many Oscar-worthy films at that time.
All right. So that's my top 5. That's your top 5. Again, my top 5 for those of you who didn't hear it. It was Infinity War, Jurassic World, Fantastic Beast, Deadpool, and Incredibles. Again, Incredibles could always get out and be replaced with Solo. Solo could always get out and be replaced with Mary Poppins because, oh my God, a spoonful of sugar? Get the fuck out of here. Like, yes.
And if I say you can replace those with Jungle Book, which comes out next year also.
Wait. Oh yeah, that's right. The not the Disney version, the other version of Jungle Book, right?
The Andy Serkis version of the Jungle Book comes out next year.
Shit. I mean, look. There's too much heat coming out next year, and the money has to really spread out. I could almost see none of maybe Infinity War might not be. You know what? I'm not changing my list. I'm done. I'm not changing my list. But anyways, that's my top 5. I'm not changing my list. That's my top 5. That's yours?
Don't worry about it. You'll see it my way eventually, Mo.
Nope. Look, anyways, man, look. That is the list. That's the topics for this episode. Let's close this joint out, man, because I don't even want to think about it anymore. All right, so that is the top. That is the topics for this interesting episode. This was our number 6 show. This was our episode 6. Oscar race. Do you guys agree with us? Look, is Wonder Woman that movie that says shut the fuck up about the DCU over everything else? Okay. Streaming service limitations. Do you think Netflix should follow the Hulu map? First 3 episodes and then weekly, because again, or do you agree with myself and Lucas where we feel like Netflix doesn't really have strong content, so it's a lot easier for them to just throw everything out at once? Do you agree with our Marvel shows ranking and the fact that we said they're not as great as people think they are? Biggest movie predictions. Lucas gave you his list, I gave you my list, my top 5, and it's a little different. I have said this, this is the year that a Star Wars movie isn't in the top 5 of movies for the year. I think Lucas you had Solo in yours, right?
Yes, Solo is in my top 5.
Yeah, you had Solo in yours. So, look, whatever happens next year is going to be very, very interesting for these movies. I mean, I think, in a weird way, this year we thought this year was a loaded box office. No, it wasn't compared to what we might be getting next year. I think this year had a lot more sleeper hits like It, Annabelle Creations, Wonder Woman. I think than anything. Next year should have a legit.
God damn it.
Okay. Next year should have a legit.
Damn you, Mo. Damn you, Mo.
What I do?
It 2 comes out next year. Damn you, Mo.
Are you serious?
Damn you, Mo.
Okay, so that kind of changes a lot of things now. I'm closing the show out.
It does. We closing this out, damn it. We're not going back to think about that anymore. No.
It changes everything. Anyways, so let us know what you think about this very, very interesting topic now, because it changes everything with the fact that It 2 comes out next year. And I still think Warner Brothers is kind of low-finding to grab that guy and put him on a DC project ASAP. Look, that is the show. Let us know what you think about it. Everything down in the comment section below. Shit, It 2 comes out next year. Like, I saw It, and I'm Afraid of Clowns, and I thought it was a very, very good movie. Look, I'll tell you this, right? I'll fucking see It in the movie theaters next year. I'm not playing. Anyways, that's our
It's a
show.
horror movie. It's a horror movie that made $700 million.
That's our show.
To put it in perspective.
That is our show. We're closing the show out. That is our show. Thanks for listening. Check out Lucas and Girl for the podcast. Check us out on earth2cc.com. Thank you very much for listening. It's me, your boy Mo, and it's been Lucas from Lucas and Moe Vs The World. And we are out.